Hey everybody, welcome into Backstage Live, and I am so excited to finally share with you part 1 of 3 from my conversation with comedian Patrick Sisk. Patrick lives in Orlando and is on a mission to spread joy with comedy after taking a 10-year break from sharing his onstage talents. This episode gives you a quick catch-up on the evolution of his career in comedy, the club scene in and around Orlando, deep-fried peanuts, having support from his family, and his philosophy of letting comedy happen by drawing from the humor in everyday life. Patrick will be at the Backstage November 18th, 2022 to headline our Laugh at the Lake comedy night. Other comedians for that event will be chosen from our stand-up comedy open mic scheduled for September 16th on the new outdoor stage in our South Courtyard at the Backstage. Check our socials link in the show description for updates and announcements about these coming events. Also, tickets are on sale now for To Kill a Mockingbird as presented by the Backstage with season sponsor Sonny Lewis. From the novel by Alabama native Harper Lee and directed by Wesley H. Rorix, this literary classic is a must-see as we kick off our 49th consecutive season as your community theater. Tickets are available through wholebackstage.com.
You're never going to believe, as I left my hotel room. Hotel is a very generalized word for where I'm staying.
Hotel-ish.
Yeah. And there was this guy out there, and he said, "Hey, do you know why an elephant never eats anything?" No, it's you. And he went, "Shh," and then evaporated into the wind. That's how I knew I was going to be okay. My angel was watching me.
Yeah. my homeless joke-telling angel.
My possibly addicted to meth, homeless joke-telling agent. No, wait.
No,
I'm an angel.
It's a different... Okay.
Yeah, that looks good.
Sure. Gotta have something. I didn't want it to be about the last guest. That would have been weird.
Yeah. I'm so scared. I can't do it again.
Oh, jeez.
I don't want to break your table.
Yeah, well, it's...
God, you're so manly.
Pants are kind of wet.
Mine, too. Do you know a Hunter Raoul?
No.
Oh, he's already commented on a thing. He said promoted on Reality Records. I don't...
Is he not from the show the other day?
No. What show?
What Wednesday? The radio show you did.
I have never met this kid in my life.
I mean...
Do you think he was on the show? Is that Serious Penny?
Is he following your comedy stuff?
I don't know. He's the Insta King, is what it says.
I'm sure he is.
With all 132 followers.
So, Patrick Sisk, comedian Patrick Sisk. If you've been doing comedy for more than,
I've gotten paid to do comedy.
Then you're comedian.
So I'm a
Patrick
professional
Sisk.
comedian
from Orlando, visiting Backstage Live because we have a show planned in November. You're bringing your talents here. We're hoping to have 2 or 3 other comedians here on our stage, and it's going to be a good night. I'm looking forward to that because that's something that we don't typically do.
Yeah,
I mean we do the plays and stuff. We have a concert here and there, but like I can't tell you besides like people doing it maybe for open mic,
right?
That we've had a comedy night. So
I think anytime you bring something new to a place, whether it be comedy, whether it be music, whether it be just like a kazoo show, which I mean, maybe you should look into that.
I didn't know there was a market.
Yeah, maybe, but like and that's a cool thing. Until you try, you don't know.
Yeah,
I think that's why like America's Got Talent is so wildly successful. That it's always there's always something new.
Mm-hmm.
Like
something you've never seen.
Yeah, like the first guy who won was a ventriloquist, and you're like, oh man, that's really cool. He can play with puppets, which is kind of weird when you
never
really
seen that before.
Yeah, but then like now you're like this girl's like swinging by her neck.
Oh,
and
geez.
yeah, like this one guy like had a hook through his nose and was pulling people. And I was like, I could do that. I couldn't. No, I couldn't.
Theoretically.
But maybe on the November show.
That could be like the opener.
Yeah.
But I guess you could come back after that.
Yeah.
Could you be the opener and then like
And be the
a
closer?
regular act and say, hey, that was me a while ago. Now I'm going to do something totally different.
You watched me destroy my face. Now, watch me destroy my dignity. as I do comedy.
Oh my gosh. So you were telling me you've done like yesterday.
Yeah.
Space Coast Comedy Showcase.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How many people were involved in that?
So the guy who put it on, his name is Judd Jones. Used to be up in New York and at like Gotham Live, all those places up there. Came down here and was like, man, I want to put on a show. And so every week he puts on a showcase with, which is like, it sounds like it's a lot, but at the same extent, he only allows 3 comedians at a time. And there's about 50 people in a room, and it's a really small, intimate room. And it was awesome, dude. It was the closest thing to a New York comedy club that I've been to.
Yeah.
So it was really cool.
I bet. So the other, had you seen the other 2 guys before?
I had seen
first time?
I had seen one of the guys. His name's Rudy Malumba, and he and I have run in the same circles, and so he's a good friend of mine. And then the other guy name was Marcus Crispo, and Crispo is actually that's all he does is stand-up comedy. Like that's what he does for a career.
Yeah.
And so he travels all over. Like one of his things was he was like, I've been on the WWE network, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then it found out that he was like an extra, and I was like, that doesn't count.
Me too,
like,
but not for what you think.
Yeah, like I was in the audience for 2005 Judgment Day. I'm like, no, that doesn't count. That does not count.
Right. Like I had like 2 seconds of TV time.
Yeah, that would be like I'm in the stands at a football game. It's like, man, did you see me play for the Titans?
I saw the camera pointed my way. I yelled out a line. I got my SAG card. It was great.
Yeah. I'm official.
Yeah. I want to try one of these peanuts. I don't know if you've ever, I know you have because we did it today.
Yeah, they're the worst.
I was talking listeners in general. I don't know if you've ever had Uncle Bud's deep fried peanuts, but
Are you trying to get a sponsor?
Dude, I'll take him. If Uncle
he will
Bud's
throw
listening,
you $33
and 500 bags of peanuts.
500, the Old Bay version.
Yeah. Well, I take it back. If you've ever had deep fried peanuts, nameless,
like
it's an interesting experience.
It's they crunch so loud, man. It sounded delicious, but I know what it tasted like. I don't know why we thought, you know what would be really good on these peanuts? Stuff to make them taste like shrimp. But we went that route.
Fibrous.
Just the way God intended.
That's what that is. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, I got them. Those are, I mean, I like, it's a neat idea. I get the concept.
What, to deep fry things?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, I could deep fry anything.
I think King of the Hill made an episode about that.
Did they?
Yeah. You got to have propane to run deep fryers. So propane, so I mean.
Man, look at you. You're just hitting every. We are playing bingo.
I'm going to get some sponsors.
Yeah. Yeah. You
telling
were trying. You were trying.
We're also eating some. Just name all the snacks.
You know, after I do a long day of comedy, I love to open up a fresh, cold Sprite.
And
I'm not really sure what I was supposed to say.
I don't know. What do you? You know what?
LeBron James drinks Sprite.
Tequila's good in Sprite.
I've never tried that.
Should.
Huh.
So
I think that scares me because it looks like bubbly water.
Wraps up that portion of the show.
Yeah, that's going to be the most. My mom's going to be very proud of that part.
About 3 minutes in,
people
people
LeBron
are really
James. That's the part she's going to have problems with. I'm much more of a Scottie Pippen fan.
Has she met LeBron?
Twice. She helped him with the decision.
Ooh,
yeah, that actually happened today. I think was the anniversary of the decision.
No way.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, this podcast is not being released on this day, so like when people,
nobody will know.
Yeah, when people listen to it, they can put pieces together. They'll be like, "Oh, that's when they filmed it."
Oh,
all those sleuths out there.
I've tried not to do that with this. Like, I hate when people. I say I hate. I don't know, it doesn't really bother me that much, but it's like you notice.
You're sitting in your bedroom. Oh!
You notice when people make vague references, like things like, "Oh, that was last week," and I could be listening to that 3 years later.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
last week. Yeah. Anyhow, okay.
No, January 6th. No, okay.
Yeah, well, okay. So
you know which January 6th I'm talking about.
I do. It's my son's birthday.
Yeah, that's what we'll go with.
6 years ago.
Did you forget your son's name halfway through?
No, I just thought maybe I shouldn't.
You shouldn't say your son's name?
I don't know. People are weird about that. Like people,
you've got a stalker out there that's like, Grant, we got him.
I mean, people like when if they post like pictures on Facebook, they put like stickers over their babies' faces.
I've never understood that.
I don't know what it.
I've always wanted that to be their real face.
Is that like a security thing?
I think it's because your baby's so ugly that you want to put a sticker. No, I know that babies are cute. Okay, let's be honest. There's some babies that are not cute. Like people are like, "How cute is my baby?" And I'm like, "It's not." But like, I know people who like are fostering kids. They put pictures and they put like the stickers over them because they can't legally show their face.
Sure, yeah, I get that.
And so I'm a foster kid. And I would like to start putting pictures over my face just all the time.
You can do it.
I think I might.
You can make the decision now.
I think that's how that works. Gonna get a drink of my water.
Yeah. So this week you did Space Coast Comedy Showcase. You also did a radio show.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was in Orlando.
Okay.
91.5 with Calico the Surrealist.
Yep.
Surreal Talk. And I was chopping it up with them, which I did not know what that meant.
Well, now you do.
Until
you can
that
chop
night.
it up with.
And now this is us chopping it up.
Yes.
And so it's cool to get schooled. I don't say, God, wow, I am so old that
schooled.
I've been learned.
You enlightened. You've been inducted into the club.
What?
I don't know. The radio host club.
Oh, is that what club that is?
Yeah.
Okay. This has gone off the rails already.
No. It's fine. Do you do like 2-3 shows a week?
I try to. So next week,
all within like an hour or two of where you live.
Yeah. So currently, next week I'm in New Smyrna Beach at a place called Madcaps Comedy Club. Guy who owns the club is named Adam Lowry. Adam Lowry, really funny guy, has been on Joe Rogan and is a touring comedian, or is about to be. But excuse me. But yeah, so he has got a comedy club out in New Smyrna, which is about an hour or so from my house. So I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday I've got a show at a place that my buddy's putting on a show, and we've got a national touring comedian as the headliner, and so it's going to be a cool show. So
yeah. Man, those places down there sound like a lot of fun. I mean, like Madcaps and the places where you get to just go up and do open mics, and then the places you get invited. I mean, it sounds like a really well-rounded, I guess. There's a large audience there for different types of comedy. And
you walk into a comedy or a open mic night, and some open mic nights are solely for comedy, and a lot of times when that is when it's just comedy, you have a bunch of comedians. And comedians tend to not laugh at other comedians' jokes sometimes. So those rooms are always a little But I've got a group of people that I work with, One Mic Entertainment, that they do promoting, they do stuff like that. They've just opened an open mic in a place called Twisted Root Burger Company, and which is an incredible burger place. They have all sorts of burger. I ate a camel burger there the other day, which is yeah. I was like, what meat do you suggest? And he was like, get the camel. And I was waiting for the punchline, and he just stared at me, and I was like, okay, I'll take the camel.
Sounds good.
And so, but it's a really cool place, and I hosted that last week, and they did it again last night, and so just to watch them take off, it's really cool. So I'm doing a show with them in August, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see all the different aspects of comedy that are happening.
Yeah.
So
you're booked out through August, September. You got a lot of stuff coming
August right now. I've got a couple of things in August. I'm pretty well booked through July. But in August, I've got a few things that are coming up that I'm excited about. So
good. And I heard there's a show coming up in November that people should check out.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
In Alabama, the whole Backstage.
That one's going to be awesome. I'm excited about that one. I mean, we've known each other for years, and
a couple,
and to be able to help do a show with you and all the dumb stuff that we've gotten into before, it excites me.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. We'll have a host, like an MC for the night, and have 2 or 3 comics come in and do 20, 30 minutes apiece, maybe 20 minutes apiece. So we'll keep it under 2 hours with all the in-between stuff. So
yeah,
definitely need to check that out.
Yeah, I know the other comics are going to be awesome. I say that because we don't know who they are.
They should be great.
They're going to be awesome.
But not. I mean, we want to get people who are slightly
like I want to be
less.
the best.
Yeah.
Like I would like you to send all tapes to me so I can be like, they're funnier than me.
Yeah, not this guy.
Yeah, don't.
Definitely add this guy. That girl needs to stay home. Yeah. She's really good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I can't have that. My reputation and my ego is way too fragile for that.
So you flew in today.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe you flew up here just to do the show.
I know. I literally did. It's not like that's not a bit.
I know.
Like that's not haha. Like I literally flew up to do this podcast.
Yeah. And we're getting the show for November planned, but like, it means a lot just to show up. And I know you had other stuff that kind of was planned and then didn't work out, but you still came up and wanted to like see the theater.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been
we I had some things planned, but it didn't turn out, family things and whatnot. But I talked to my wife, who is incredible, incredibly supportive through all this, and she was like, "Go do it." And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, "I know you want to see Denton," and I was like, "You're right," because I mean, for all the audience who don't know me and don't know you and don't know our relationship, you were in my wedding.
Yeah.
10
years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago in November. Ish. Yeah, in November. So that's that.
And then we were married the next month.
I'm going to be like Brittany for our anniversary. We're going to Alabama. She's going to be so happy.
I can imagine.
Yeah, she's going to be over the moon.
She could be watching this now.
I doubt it. She's probably asleep.
Not.
Like it's 12:49 in Orlando.
Eesh.
She normally goes to sleep by like 8:49.
Yeah.
She has the sleep schedule of a 4-year-old. Like a very responsible 4-year-old.
Sure. Yeah.
Do we have any watchers?
I don't know.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Let me check for us. I'll let you know here in just a second. So you started comedy this year in April.
Yeah.
But you did comedy before. How long ago?
Since the day I was born, really. I've just been one big joke.
Sounds like a nice long career.
Yeah. Or at least that's what my mom tells me.
Or a long career.
Yeah.
One person.
Thanks, one person. Shout out to you. Man.
Oh, that's me.
Did you know it was you?
Had to push the mute button. I'm going to eat a peanut.
Oh my goodness, I'm sweaty. Oh, I just laughed so hard that I'm sweaty. That's weird. Yeah, so yeah, no, this.
The thing is, whew.
This is the most exercise I've done in so long. But
thing
no,
is, it'll be available later.
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
lots of hundreds of people will watch it.
Yeah. So yeah, I did comedy for a few months in my senior year of college, and decided, hey, I want to do this. And actually went to a class in Nashville at Zany's, and was starting to get into it, but just couldn't find my rhythm. And then a couple of weeks after I graduated college, my dad passed away. And I quickly realized that I didn't want to be funny at that time, and had to find myself. And it took like 10 years to find myself. And I always thought, like, man, I bet I could get back on it, but never wanted to. And then in April, there was a show really close to my house, and that was put on by my friend Helmet. And I looked at my wife and I was like, should I? And she was like, do it. So I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. I was like, if I love it, great. But if I don't, I'll know that it's not for me. And I got on the stage and I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like it was like it all clicked, and the jokes worked. And the first time I got up there, I didn't really even tell that many jokes. Like I told stories of what just things that have happened.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
Real life
stuff. Yeah. So it's been really cool.
Well, you mentioned to me earlier that you like to let comedy happen. And so I think, that perspective, that mindset will bring a lot of that, just experiential sharing, just stories that you observe. Like, if you're just an observer of people and life and society, there's so much material.
Oh yeah,
just watching people.
For sure. I mean, case in point, I used to be a youth minister for a church, and me and the preacher, we were driving down the road one day in a neighborhood, and we saw this guy laying on the ground, and he just waved his hand. So I waved back, and the preacher was like, I think he needs something. And I was like, no, I think he was just waving. He was like, why is he laying on the ground? And I was like, I don't know.
It's hot.
And that would have been my answer, but it was in December, so in Indiana. And so we pull in, and the guy was like, hey, I've fallen and I can't get up. And we were like, well, yeah, okay, we can help you. And he was like, well, no, you don't understand. My leg fell off. And I'm kind of dumb. And so instantly I thought his leg fell off. And like there was this bloody stump just like dangling. And I was like, oh, do we need to call the ambulance? And he just stared at me. He went, no.
I can put it back on myself.
Yeah, and then that's when I realized that he was an amputee. And he was like, I just can't reach in there. And so the preacher actually like put his hand up the guy's pants leg and like helped him attach his leg. And I remember sitting there going, this is funny. Like this, and that's what, like, that's comedy.
I don't know that I'm Wait, I think I'm feeling something.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
funny.
this is
funny here.
And so, I mean,
I could tell this later.
Yeah. And I mean, you just let comedy happen.
Yeah.
You be in that moment and, and you go, okay, and it's weird because it happens so much. And I'm just like, all right, let it happen. And I just open myself up to it. And so all of a sudden it's, oh, this guy doesn't have his leg. And then, then when I sit down to write a joke or something and I go back to that story, it's like, okay, what was I feeling? All right. And what happened? And then how can I make it funny? Because I mean, it's funny in general, but like, how can I add, it's like making a food dish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like white people, we don't cook with a lot of spices sometimes. And it's like, oh, we added salt.
The one white spice.
Exactly.
Way to go.
But what if we add garlic salt? Now we've made it a little different. Mm-hmm. And now what if we put chili powder with it? Like now we've made it spicy a little bit.
Yeah.
And which is a weird thing to talk about with an old man who doesn't have his leg. Like we didn't make it spicy, but yeah, so
you brought that up with him laying on the ground.
Yeah, and he was like, "You're right." And we had a workshop.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we had a workshop right there. But no, I mean that was a weird tangent that I just went off on. But
no, it wasn't. It made sense, and I think talking about your philosophy about using life and things that you observe, things that you just run into.
Yeah.
Anywhere you are with anybody you're around, it doesn't have to be people just drawing on that to extract the humor out of situations.
Yeah. No, I mean,
like share that with people.
We live in a world that has so much hostility, so much anger, just so much things that can drain life from you. And the cool thing about life is that there are so many things, if you just stop and take a moment, that want to feed life into you.
Yeah.
And and comedy for me is that. And I sit there and I'm like, how can I bring life? How can I bring joy to an audience? How can I do this? And I can all of a sudden take a story that is a little funny and then start to work on it and build on it. And all of a sudden now it's got some good punchlines. Now it's got some one-liners, some tags that are like, man, that's good.
Yeah.
And it brings that joy to an audience. So.
And they'll take that with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I hear comedy routines that, I still talk about after the show, maybe months later, maybe years later. Somebody says something that reminds me of it, and I say, hey, I heard this one time.
Yeah.
And we have a laugh, and it's something that somebody else came up with, but like they shared it, and now I can share it.
I've got a joke that I do currently that I'll probably do in November. It's one of my better jokes, and it's about my daughter. And my daughter's 5, and she one day talked with her nipples, and it was weird. And I was like, "What are you doing, baby?" And so I go into this whole story of her doing that. And now when I walk into comedy clubs, open mic, people are like, "Oh, hey, you're the talking nipple guy," and I'm like, thank you.
I guess. Now I'm retiring that.
Yeah, and then I get like done with the show or something, and they're like, "Your happy nipples were something," and I was like,
thank you.
Like what? And you go back to people like Bert Kreisler, or I think is how you but he's the guy who performs without his shirt on.
Okay.
And like people might not know his name, but it's like that guy who doesn't wear a shirt when he does comedy, and you're like, yeah, I know that guy. So it's all depending on, or you look at somebody like Jeff Dunham. You might not know his name, but you're like, the guy who does Ahmed the Dead Terrorist or Walter, and you're like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
You might not know his name, but you know his acts, you know his bits, and so yeah, you're right. A bit can take off and have a life of its own, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is something.
Yeah, and sometimes in being in the theater here, we were talking in one of the it's one of the episodes I recorded previously, but it's going to be an episode released later.
Oh, yeah.
We were kind of talking about how you start a show or a performance, and it may be 10, 20, 100 people doing their part. like the stage crew, the actors, the sound, the lights, all the tech stuff. Everybody's doing something that is happening at the same time to create one thing that people are going to enjoy. And it's really I guess inspiring when that thing starts and it takes on a life of its own. And it is you're helping create it, but at some point, like it
takes a life of its own. It
takes off.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. So
hang on.
Yeah, and it's cool, but it can get kind of scary too.
Yeah.
So
I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking you all over the country, the state for sure.
Yeah.
Clubs you haven't been to, stopping to do shows with people you've never met.
Yeah, you walk into a room and you're going to do comedy and you don't know if jokes will work. And I can tell a joke one night and it kills. And people are like, man, that's the greatest joke I've ever heard. And then the next night you tell the same joke in the same way and people are like, cool. And you're like, okay.
Who's next?
Yeah. So it's tough, but and then when you can be consistently funny, you have that pressure on you that, all right, I knew you were funny last time, so be funny again. and you become that dancing monkey a little bit, and you're like, oh, okay,
here we go.
And it's still a thrill, but I mean, I can see why people who've done it for years, and maybe who haven't hit it big, are like, this is dumb. I'm stepping away. So
at some point, the grind is gets rough. I guess.
Thanks for listening, guys, and remember, this is part 1 of 3 from my conversation with Patrick. Stay tuned for the other 2 episodes coming very soon. Also, remember to be looking forward to our Laugh at the Lake comedy night featuring Patrick Sisk at the whole Backstage on November 18th. You will really want to subscribe to the show so you don't miss our 13 Days of Halloween series beginning on October 12th. This will feature readers sharing chapters from 13 Alabama Ghosts and Jeffrey by Katherine Tucker Wyndham. Shameless plea alert here. We need your help to complete our digital media production studio at the whole Backstage. If you have seen any of our YouTube videos, listened to this podcast, or follow our social media and have seen any of the clips we put out to promote our shows, that's the kind of content we would like to be able to share more of with you. Contact this show at wholebackstagelive@gmail.com for sponsorship opportunities. To help support the show as an individual, follow our socials link in the show description for access to PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Just add the word podcast as a comment. Your generous support will help us achieve a professional, permanent studio space from which to generate consistently engaging content. Thank you for your interest in this project. Keep coming back and stay kind.